Hello, welcome to ScriptWave. In today's lecture, we'll be kickstarting our journey on Python. Let's see a quick agenda for the lecture today. In today's lecture, we'll be covering the topics like what is programming, we'll understand what is problem solving, and we'll try to solve a riddle on problem solving. Then we'll see what is Python. Then we'll understand few features of Python. Then we'll see the cases where Python can be used for, and we'll understand why should we learn Python now in 2026. Without any further ado, let's start with understanding what is programming. Programming isn't about what you know, it's about what you can figure out. So the quote that I always admire is programming isn't about what you know, it's about what you can figure out. If you know a lot of programming languages like Java, Python, C, C++, etc., but you can't figure out what you wanted, then it of no use. So programming is not what you know, it's about what you can figure out. The only way to learn programming is by writing programs in it. This is very interesting quote. So here we need to understand two words here: programming language and writing programs. Let's decode the word language. Language is the medium where we communicate with two entities. Let's take I know Kannada and you know English. If I speak in Kannada, which you can't be understood, then there is no communication. So for you to understand my language, you need to know Kannada, or vice versa. I should learn English and maybe I should speak in English for you to understand my language. In the same way, computer knows the language, computer can understand the language, that is the programming language. That is why we will start writing programs in it so that we are letting or telling the computer what to do. Here let's see why writing programs will make it more efficient, or it will make us learn new programming language. If you want to learn maybe a new language, let's take I learned Kannada when I was in my Bangalore days. So I started speaking in Kannada. The same way here we are communicating with the program. So you are writing the programs to communicate. So by writing the programs, you learn the programming language. Third and most important quote of the day, that is first solve the problem, then write the code. So very huge number of students where they first start writing the code whenever they see a problem. Let's say we have a problem to find even or odd. They start immediately n is equal to int of input, enter your number, etc. No, first you understand the problem. You want to find even or odd. How we can solve it? We need to understand how we can define an even number. So what is an even number? Everything divided by 2 returns 0 is an even number. That means it is perfectly divided by 2 and returns a remainder as 0. So this is important. So what is odd? If it is not equal to 0, then it's an odd. So now we can write the program. If n mod 2 double equal to 0, then print even. Else odd. If it is not even, it's an odd. You might not need to understand this program right now because we will be building a lot more complex programs and a lot more interesting functionalities in Python. So just for example, so you can just ignore it, but just understand the core idea of solving the problem, not writing the code. We'll write the code, of course, but first you solve the problem, then you start writing the code. Let's move forward. Now let's solve a problem, or we can say a riddle, where we have a fox, a goat, a farmer, and a cabbage. Now they need to cross the river from point A to point B. How they can cross? Of course, you can say they can all get into the boat and they can sail it. But the important point here we need to understand is we don't have the capacity of the boat to take more than two things. So farmer knows about sailing the boat, so farmer should be available. So always farmer. We need to pick one item at a time and we need to move to point A to point B with all the items. How we can solve? Maybe I'll definitely request you to pause this video, try it yourself, and then re-verify it once you are done. Now let's take the points here, point A to point B. So in the point A, we have 4 items right now. So fox, farmer, the goat, and cabbage. Now the caveat is if we take the cabbage along with us, the fox will eat up the goat. If we take the fox, the goat will eat up the cabbage. So to avoid that scenario, what we need to pick the first one. So the farmer will pick the goat with him because the fox won't eat the cabbage. So they'll move and he'll drop the goat here and he'll move back alone. Now we have farmer, fox and cabbage. Now what he should pick while going to the point B? Now he should pick the cabbage. Let's consider if he pick the cabbage, farmer will go and he will drop and the cabbage will be eaten by the goat, which is not required. Now what he can do, the only option left is the fox. Let's pick the fox. So farmer plus fox will move from point A to point B. Now we have goat plus farmer plus fox. Now the caveat is if we leave the fox and goat, the fox will eat up the goat. So he will pick the goat again. So farmer plus goat will travel here. Now we have the goat, the cabbage and the farmer. Now he picks the cabbage after he dropping the goat. Cabbage plus farmer will move from point A to point B. Now he already have the fox here. He'll drop the cabbage, he'll return back because he has only goat left. So he'll pick the goat and move to the point B. So this is how we solve the problem. This is what the problem solving is. You have to understand the problem, then you can solve it. So let's move forward. Now let's understand what is Python. Of course, we all know Python is a very popular general purpose interpreted, interactive, object-oriented and high-level programming language. There are a lot of big words, the object-oriented, programming language, high-level, etc. Let's try to decode one by one here. So first is the general purpose. So Python is very general purpose. You can use it any day. I personally use Python every day. For any small thing I use Python. It's like very friendly language for me. Object oriented, maybe park this word for few lectures. You will definitely understand a lot about it because everything is an object in Python. We'll discuss a lot about it. High level. So we have three things. One is low level, mid level and high level language. High level language means the programming language will be looking like pure English. So in Python, we have something called as print function. So what this does? This prints the value to the screen. Very simple, very easy English. So that is high level. It can be easily understood if you know English. Then Python is dynamically typed and garbage collected programming language. So what is dynamically typed? So we'll discuss a lot more about it, but let me give a brief. In C language, we always do a is equal to 10 with an int. So we are defining a as an integer, whereas in Python you can definitely and directly just assign the value without even defining it. So this makes Python dynamically typed because it dynamically picks the value. Now let's consider what if I do a is equal to hello, a string. The Python will not throw an error, whereas C language throws an error. So Python allows this kind of formatting as well. Now let's understand the garbage collected programming. So garbage collected means if you have a unused variable that is available in a program, it will automatically deletes and frees up the space automatically. That is called as garbage collected. And it was created by Guido van Rossum, the father of Python, during 1985 to 1990. And there is a misconception that Java is the old language, whereas Python is new language, but it's false. Python is the old language, whereas Python took a lot of time to become famous and become more useful. Now people say Java is old. No, Java is new. Python is old, but it took some time. Like Perl, Python source code is available under GNU license. So we have a public entity here, GNU General Public License, where you can download the source code because Python is free and open source. Python supports multiple programming paradigms, including procedural, object-oriented, functional programming. So we'll discuss more about it in detail. So we have multiple paradigms, whereas C language won't support object-oriented. It only supports still functional and procedural programming language. But Python supports the object-oriented as well. Let's move forward. Features of Python. So Python is very easy to learn, very simple syntax. It's basic English, to be honest. Then we have an important feature as free and open source. So there are two words here, free and open source. Both are not same. Free means you can use without paying anything. Open source means you can download the source code, you can make your changes. You have complete license or complete access of updating or changing to your own code. High level, as we already discussed, this will be in basic English. Portable, you can run your Python code maybe in your machine, maybe in your friend's machine, both or any machine will give the same output, that is portable. Object oriented, as we said, everything in Python will be based on objects. Large standard library, this is one more important feature where we have a high active community for Python where they can help us for any issues. Along with that, we have large library as well. So we can just install those libraries and we can write the code. Example, we have a library called as NumPy and we have pandas. We have many, few of them. So here we can do a lot of operations without writing huge lines of code because all the lines of code is already written in these packages. We'll just install it, import it and use it. It's like plug and play. Then we have dynamically typed. We already discussed. We need not to declare int, string or anything. It will automatically declares itself without we explicitly doing it. Let's move forward. So Python can be used for which domains? So we can use Python for many domains. So one is the data science. You can use for data science. You can become a web developer. So you can use in web development. So we have majorly Django, Flask, and now we have Fast API. These are famous modules which supports web development, and Django is pretty high level. It deals with a lot of complex data as well. So Django is your go-to thing if you want to start with the web development. Then you can use it in network programming. You can use Python for accessing the databases. You can use Python for creating games and 3D graphics. You can use Python for machine learning AI. So you can train the models using Python and you can validate. You can do all that using Python. You can use it in education as well. Education means the research. So you can use Python for research calculations as well because Python is more precise when compared to other languages. So it gives like 14 decimal points. So that will make Python as more precise language. So to use in the education field and research field as well. Let's move forward. Let's understand why should we learn Python now. In the year 2026 or maybe 2027, Python is always famous. So why should we learn Python now? First, Python is open source, which means it's available free of cost. We need not to pay for anything. Python is very simple and very easy to learn. So you'll definitely understand once we start with Python. Python is versatile and can be used to create many different things. You can create web applications, you can create machine learning models, you can create even mobile Android apps as well using Python, which makes Python as more versatile language. Powerful development libraries, which includes ML and AI and many more. This makes it more easy and more efficient to work with Python. Python is demand. Python is much in demand and ensures high salary. Of course, the end goal is to get paid better. So we can expect better salary if we learn Python. Let's move forward. So that's it for the lecture. Thank you so much. Have a great day. And in the next lecture, we'll be installing Python on Windows and Mac OS. So stay tuned and see you in the next lecture. Thank you so much.